Welcome to our Thursday morning mindfulness gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. And this is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to talk with us about what mindfulness means to them and to process as a community how we might incorporate these practices into our daily lives. And I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and happy to be here as always most Thursdays with Tara Healey, founder and director of Harvard Pilgrim's Mindfulness Program. Good morning, Tara.
Good morning, Suzanne, and good morning, everyone.
So nice to see everyone joining this morning. And today, Tara will start us off with a question for the group and then lead us in a guided practice. And after that, we'll have time for questions. So if you would like to go to the bottom of your screen, open up the chat, and you can be ready to type in any answers to the questions. And if you'd like as well, you can click down the drop-down menu that says panelists and attendees, so you can see all the comments as they come in real time. All right, so Tara, what question would you like to start us off with?
All right, so this morning I actually wound up putting the question in the chat so that everybody can see it, and I'll do that from now on. I don't know why I hadn't thought of that before. But, you know, in honor of Earth Day, and this morning, at least where I am in Central Mass, it is a gorgeous morning. It is blue sky and crisp, although I got a couple of text messages from friends who are in Connecticut that it was snowing, but it was, you know, a totally different situation here, but it's cold. But, you know, in recognition of Earth Day, I started thinking about, you know, what are some things that I want to continue doing in support of the planet, that I want to stop doing, or that I want to start doing. And so I would offer that question to all of you, you know, as you think about the significance of this day and the gifts that this earth gives us, which are endless. Would love to hear from you. And while you're thinking about it, Suzanne and I will share our thoughts. And so, Suzanne, I'll ask you, and you don't have to answer all three. It could be just something you want to start doing or something you want to stop doing. Yeah. So what's
Yeah, so what I've been doing is I don't use any chemicals on my lawn. And that's, you know, that is not an easy thing to do and keep your lawn, you know.
Yeah.
Been good. So that's something I've been doing for a while. One thing I'm doing more lately is I when I buy products, I try not to buy any products that use plastic.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just was purchasing one of the condiments and I'm like, you know, I always bought it in plastic, but now I'm only going to buy it in glass.
That's great. Yeah. And those are not small. Like, I think, you know, that's significant. Yeah. So, you know, for me, I would say 2 years ago, I stopped buying plastic water bottle. Like, you know, if I wanted a quick drink or something, you know, grab like in the store. I stopped that a couple of years ago, and I gave myself the only out is that if there's a dire situation and I need water, but otherwise I don't buy that. And just in general, have been eliminating plastic as well. So I just finally found like a body cream that's in a glass jar. You have to be careful with it, but and household cleaning products. That's the other thing, is just, you know, using non-toxic and glass when I can find it. So, but let's see. Yeah.
Stop buying individually wrapped tea bags.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Plant natives. Yeah. Hard to eliminate, but less. Yeah. It's, and it, you know, from everything that I read and understand about, you know, the planet and what we can do, is that each of us doing even what we think of are small, like, you know, in totality, if others are doing it, it's not small. It actually has a big impact. Yeah.
I also do not use plastic water bottles. It's hard to avoid. Heat pumps can work in New England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's so easy not to drink out of those plastic water bottles, right? Because, you can, there's stainless, there's glass, we have so many options just refilling.
Someone mentioned planting gardens and planting a lot of herbs for cooking, less groceries.
Nice. And a beautiful day in Minnesota.
Working
Reusable toothbrush heads. I just got one. Yes. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. All right. So I know on Tuesday that Mary Star Green led folks in a kind of the earth element meditation. And this morning, I'm going to basically guide us through a concentration practice, insight meditation practice, just very similar to what I typically do. And what I would encourage folks to do, because if we were all together, I would do a walking meditation today outside. So I would say that for today's practice, with all of us together, we'll do a seated meditation as we typically do. But if you have an opportunity to get outside and do either a standing practice, just standing feet on the earth, or a walking practice outside, and that can be, if you're out for a walk, it doesn't have to be a slow practice, but just really attuning to your body, to your steps on the earth, and to the sounds all around you. So let's go ahead and move into a practice. And there's a couple things I want to share ahead of time related to breath. So we'll use breath as our anchor. So when the mind wanders, we come back to breath sensation, wherever it's strongest for you in the body. Could be the belly, the abdomen, the chest, or someplace else. If breath is difficult for you right now or at any time, you can use another body sensation, like palms of the hands resting on the top of the thighs, or even the feeling of the points of contact with the back of the body. That touch point could also be what you can use to anchor your attention, or tether your attention. So there's a couple things Sharon Salzberg said recently that I loved, and I had not heard her say this before, to think of the breath like with the same strength as a butterfly that might land on a flower. So I love the image also for Earth Day is when a butterfly lands on a flower, it's not a tugging, and it's not like a hard holding. So there's a gentleness to that touch. And that's what we're doing with the breath as well. So there's a gentleness. The other image that I actually want to read to you, it's very short, just a couple of lines, but this is from Sharon, and I thought it's helpful as we practice today. So she says, connecting to your breath when thoughts or images arise is like spotting a friend in the crowd. You don't have to shove everybody else aside in order for them to go away. You just direct your attention and your enthusiasm and your interest toward your friend. Oh, you think, there's my friend in the crowd. And I love that. So the images of other people or the crowd are thoughts, emotions, and body sensations that always arise in practice. And we are not trying to get rid of them. So we're just deciding that we're going to focus on our friend as a way to help steady and calibrate attention so that mindfulness can do its job most effectively. It just works better when there's steadiness. All right, so I hope that was helpful. So it's the butterfly landing on a flower, and all the thoughts and images that will arise are not a problem. We just see that they're there, and we reconnect with the breath sensation where it's most strong, where it's strongest and most noticeable for us. Or if you're not using breath, same thing with points of contact or hands on thighs. All right, so let's go ahead and assume a posture that you feel is going to be most helpful this morning. If you're sleepy, you can stand, open the eyes. Otherwise, seated and sitting in a way that is upright, engaged, and alert, yet at the same time relaxed. And on your own, take a couple of deep breaths as a way just to settle in and to settle any surface tension. Make the exhalation double the length of the inhalation. So go ahead, just do 2 or 3 of those. And letting go of what has happened so far today, releasing anticipation of what's to come. So bringing the mind and the body together in this moment, allowing your breath to resume its natural rhythm, whatever that might be this morning. So you don't have to change it or force something or do something different. Just see what your rhythm is and where you notice the sensations of breath most prominently. And allow your attention to rest at that place in your body. Noticing where the mind is, gently bringing back attention to the anchor that you're using this morning, tracking the sensations of the in breath and the out breath, or another body sensation that's accessible to you. Noticing where the mind is. Reconnecting with breath sensation. Noticing where the mind is and reconnecting, gently resting attention on whatever you're using, either breath or another body sensation. And as we bring this meditation to a close, may we be peaceful and at ease. May our heart be soft and open. May we be safe and protected, and our bodies healthy and strong. May the merit of our practice be for the benefit of all beings everywhere. And I'll count back from 3 to 1. When I arrive at 1, if your eyes were closed, you can gradually reopen. So 3, 2, 1. So as you feel ready, reconnecting with the room that you're in, your surroundings, and with each other.
Thank you, Tara.
Yeah.
Very, very nice practice.
Yeah. So would love to hear any thoughts that folks might have about Earth Day and what this day means to you, or how the practice just felt, or any questions about the practice. Especially some of the what I talked about with breath and how to work breath amidst all the other like thoughts and images and body sensations that arise, because those things are never problematic unless we make them problematic. They're in the midst, and we're just kind of isolating that breath sensation just over and over and over again.
I was thinking about how much we can learn from nature. How
Yeah.
there's a lot of damage that the human humans have created in the world, but there's still natural healing that has happened that is, I feel like we can learn from that in our own lives.
Right. And even, just the regenerative power of the earth, the ability to, cleanse itself, in a way. And it's, and just even the cycles. So I love spring because as we see so much growing, it's pretty remarkable to think that all winter long, there is like all this activity going on underneath the earth. So that when the spring arises, we see these shoots and then these flowers and buds on the trees. So it feels very apropos that Earth Day would be in the spring because I think energetically, it's a really vibrant time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned amazing how breath helps calm us.
Yeah, the breath is pretty powerful. And just to that point, remembering that if you double the length of the exhalation, that's going to help stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. I mean, there's so much the breath can assist us with, and certain ways of breathing that I know many of you are aware of through, various practices that you might do.
It's interesting. Today is just here a very windy day.
Yeah.
And, that also gives quite a connection to our breath and
there's that air element. It's super windy here. It wasn't really early on, but it's very windy. Yeah. I woke up less energized today, but this practice breath helped me feel, the breath can pick up the energy for sure. I just read a really interesting book about the breath and the healing power of the breath. And yes, so nice to see folks commenting on it. Anything else that anybody wants to say, or, we have a couple minutes, or are there any questions that you might have, or a comment? It doesn't have to be a question. It could be a thought or a comment.
When you were mentioning earlier about walking meditation, I know this question has come up before, that is it really a walking meditation if we're not doing it very slow and methodically? Or is that a different practice altogether?
No. Thank you for bringing that up. What matters most, Suzanne, is in this question. You're right; it does come up, but it's not pace. It's the quality of your awareness. That's really what matters. So, like over years, my teachers will say, when you move really slowly, I mean, there's a lot in there for you. Like I will tell you honestly that I had a lot of trouble with the slow walking meditation, and I had to, and of course, when you tell a teacher that, they will say, well, on retreat, do slow walking all day. Like that'll be your practice for the day. So it's the benefit of doing it slowly is that you can see, and feel the sensations more vividly. And you can also see the self-talk, the desire to move more quickly, the impatience, there's a lot that can go if you're doing a slower pace. So you can feel it physically better, but you can also see, at least for me, because I tend to move fast in life, that there would be, a kind of impatience with it. But to really then just up the curiosity ante, like, okay, what is actually happening here? But all of my teachers have said, you could do this at a regular pace. Like you could go out for a walk and you're not going to feel, which is fine, you're not going to feel like the intricacies that you'll feel when you're moving slower, but it's just the same thing. You're going at a different pace, or you're going out, or even just, going out for a walk, but making a conscious effort to attend to the body and your surroundings, as opposed to being lost in various commentaries, thoughts, memories, planning. And you can just keep coming back to sound, the feel of the wind, the physical body, the presence. So you can do it at any pace. It's the quality of awareness you bring.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, slow, it's easier, if you're going slow, one thing that I have done that's been helpful is make a soft mental note: lifting, moving, placing. So it's lifting, moving, placing, lifting, moving, placing. So that's another thing to think about.
Yeah, it really, you find that it's a challenge when you're walking that slow to just keep your balance, and it really does cause you to concentrate a lot more.
It does. So there's, benefits. I think they're both slow and at a regular pace. But today's a great day to do it. And today's also a great day to do a standing practice. Just feet on the earth, and even barefoot. Just stand, and you can really feel that sensation of connection there.
Mm, absolutely.
I walk fast and sing or chant. Yeah.
Well, this is great. Connecting with nature and bringing more attention to our surroundings, I think.
Yeah.
Helps us to think more about how we treat the environment. So I think it all ties in very well.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Tara, for your guidance and your teaching this morning.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you everyone for joining.
Yeah, and thanks to all the folks out joining us. And just a reminder, we're here at 8:30 on Tuesday mornings and Thursdays. So we look forward to seeing you next week on Tuesday.
Yes.
And thanks again for joining. We'll see you all soon.
Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.